wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got our guest co-host Little D with us, of course, from K1045 Dallas. What up, Gio? All right, let's get in some front page news. Good morning, Tez.
Good morning, DJ Envy. Good morning, Little D from Dallas.
Hey, girl.
And Charlamagne the God. Hello. Shout out to Oak Cliff in the building.
Mm-hmm.
That's my hood.
Now, let's start
That's
right
right.
with it. We got to congratulate Deion Sanders and his Colorado Buffaloes. They upset TSU over the weekend, 45-42, and here was Deion after the game.
We do things that have never been done, and that makes people uncomfortable. When you see a confident black man sitting up here talking his talk, walking his walk, coaching 75% African Americans in the locker room, that's kind of threatening. Oh, they don't like that. But guess what? We're going to consistently do what we do because I'm here and ain't going nowhere. And I'm about to get comfortable in a minute.
Going to get comfortable, my brother. Let me tell you something. I love it. If they do what they did on Saturday every week, that's going to be my favorite team to watch in college football. That offense was explosive on Saturday. You hear me?
Absolutely.
And it's so interesting to watch everybody who had something to say about Deion Sanders leaving, Jackson State, all of a sudden be on Deion Sanders' bandwagon again.
Yes, they were.
It's so that's why I don't listen to people. Please, Deion Sanders said something else in one of those in the post-game conference. Don't ever listen to the opinions of other people. Yo. Other people's opinion have nothing to do with you in any way, shape, or form because everybody's so damn fickle.
That's right. Now let's jump right into some news. Let's talk about these older politicians.
Yeah, Sunday, a Republican presidential candidate, Nikki Haley, advocated for term limits, which I think we all agree on that, and mental tests for politicians over the age of 75. She says they need to let a younger generation take over. Let's take a listen.
It's sad. No one should feel good about seeing that. Any more than we should feel good about seeing Dianne Feinstein, any more than we should feel good about a lot of what's happening or seeing Joe Biden's decline. What I will say is right now the Senate is the most privileged nursing home in the country. Mitch McConnell has done some great things and he deserves credit, but you have to know when to leave. That is why I'm strongly in support of term limits in this country. I think that we do need mental competency tests for anyone over the age of 75. I wouldn't care if they did them over the age of 50, but these are people making decisions on our national security. They're making decisions on our economy, on the border. We need to know they're at the top of their game. You can't say that right now looking at Congress.
Nikki is absolutely right. She ain't say one damn thing wrong.
I've been saying this for the longest.
I'll stop her when she stopped telling the truth. We need term limits, and if you are going to stay in, you definitely need mental competency tests over the age of whatever.
I've been saying this for the longest, and every time I say it, they say I'm attacking old people. No, but it's not. But when you see things like that, like what's the gentleman's
Senator
name?
McConnell?
That just froze.
Yeah, he needs
Twice.
battery charged. Twice.
Yeah, then you got Senator Feinstein, 90 years old. She's faced multiple health setbacks. Didn't know what she was voting on.
Nope.
Nancy Pelosi's 83. Donald Trump's 77. Biden is 80. We need term limits.
We didn't see Biden trip up. We didn't see him trip down. We didn't see him fall off a bike. We didn't see him shake hands that's not there. We didn't see him get sandbagged. We didn't see so much. When it gets to the point where it's like
maybe there should be an age maximum. You know how you have to be 35 to be president? Maybe when you get a certain age, you are done with politics. Go relax, go fishing.
Yeah, if you do the term limits, which most Americans agree, it will solve the problem. Because if somebody could only stay in for 8 years, most people don't run for Congress for the first time in their 80s. They usually run in their 50s or 60s. So term limits will solve that, and I think everybody agrees they should have that. On the other side of that, just to be clear, the average person in the House is 57. The average person in Congress is 65. I'm sorry, in Senate is 65. So term limits will take care of that. It also would take care of corruption. It also would take care of people being bought. It also would take care of actually getting policy done. So I like Nikki Haley. I like the fact that she made sure she included Democrats and Republicans in her comments so that it was even across the board. And I just think she's a smart lady, and she's also going up in the polls as well on the Republican side.
Yeah, and we wouldn't be having these conversations if there wasn't obvious cognitive decline.
Correct.
So folks aren't just saying this because these people are older. It's because it's obvious
There's
something
reasons,
is wrong.
and we can see the reasons.
Yes.
Right. All right. Well, that is front page news. Now, Tez, we'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Absolutely.
Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open. Let us know how your weekend was. It was a 3-day weekend. Did you get a chance to relax? Let's call us up. Let us know. 800-585-1051. And Little D is our guest host. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We have Little D, our guest co-host this morning from 104.5 in Dallas.
Gang, good morning.
All right, and let's get in some front page news. Teslin Figueroa, what up?
Good morning, DJ Envy. Good morning, Little D from Dallas. Charlamagne the God.
Peace, Taz.
Let's jump right into it. Bring your ass back to work. That's what they saying.
That's basically what they're saying. Everybody just enjoyed, well, most of us hopefully enjoyed a 3-day weekend with Labor Day, but some big name employers like Amazon, Meta, who we know that's Facebook, plan on getting tough on enforcing their return to office mandates after Labor Day. Non-compliance could result in disciplinary action, including a lower performance rating if unaddressed or dismissal. Now, even though other employers haven't publicly laid out enforcement measures, they said they'll be, pushing this. Pharmaceutical company Merck put employees on notice that effective September 5th, those with office-based positions will be required to show up at least 3 days per week. It's hard to say whether this move will affect companies all over, but they are pretty much getting rid of that, after the pandemic where folks are able to stay home. They're saying, now it's time to get people back to office and return to work. So thought this would be a good story for those of you out there that have been enjoying, being able to stay at home, but people are wanting you to come back into the office. It's ironic that I'm doing this from Zoom, by the way, while I report this story.
And if you're an employee that don't agree with that, quit. That's your only other option.
Yeah,
right. Like, simple as that.
Because I'll be honest with you. If it's to the point now, I would if I'm a company like Amazon or one of those big companies, I want people to be at work. Let's be honest. When people are home, they're not doing 100% of the work. Like they are on Google, they're on shopping, they're watching television, they're not focused, they're not locked in. And I think when you're in a business place and you're talking to your coworkers, I think you can kick around ideas. I think you're able to get more things done, in my opinion.
Well, there's another side to that. Some people say that they get more done at home. They feel like they're more productive, doing working from home. Not even just people that work. There's kids in school who haven't gone back in the classroom. Because they feel like they're more productive at home.
Well, for the kids, I know it's easier for the kids to cheat when they're at home, too.
Well, that's true. And let me give you a stat on that because, it does say 47% are more productive at home. But to your point, DJ, but both of you are right. The idea to be able to have collaborative discussions, work in groups, you feel differently when you're in the office, but to Charlamagne's point that there are people who are actually more productive and the employer saves a lot of money as well. So it goes, I guess, kind of both ways. That's why they're pushing this 2 to 3 day, come in 2 days or 3 days and then go from home, to really have that work-life balance.
It has to be less stressful too, right? Because you ain't got to go worry about rush hour traffic. You ain't got to drive an hour and a half to get to work 2 hours and drive 2 hours back home. So it gives you that time as well. So I see both sides.
And you actually work more. You actually work more because you feel like you're not doing enough work. So people work longer hours from home because you have those breaks and, where you don't have a cutoff, where in the office is done at 5 and then that's it. So, just kind of, it really depends. But it also allows you to retain and have good talent from all over the country. What if a good employee doesn't live in your city, but you want that talent? They're able to work from home.
I think it depends on the kind of job you have. Like if it's a 9 to 5, you hate your job, you go here, you live in a cubicle, you probably are better at home. You're relaxed, you're comfortable. But if you do radio and you're on a morning show, you can't talk to your people, you can't get together and see them.
But could you imagine the option of being in school, whether it's high school and college, and you got a test and you got to take it from home?
I bet I passed.
You have one laptop, you have 2 laptops, one looking at your teacher, the other one Googling the answers?
I bet I got a scholarship to Yale. Flying colors. Hell,
I wasn't going that far, little deeper.
I'm Googling everything. Hell, you mean. Straight A's.
Now let's talk about this ADHD drug shortage.
Yeah, again, another good thing. I know you guys mentioned that a lot of folks are returning to school this week. And like we mentioned, the people in the South have been in at least for 2 or 3 weeks now. But there was a report that came out that said, according to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, there's been a shortage of medications for ADHD. Now, a lot of young people have been treated for this, and this shortage of medication is causing them to have problems in school. Let's take a listen about the shortage.
But relief from the shortage may not be coming soon. Prescription rates for the medicines are at record highs, up more than 45% in the U.S. over the last decade. A CDC study this year found an especially large jump in prescriptions for adults in the first year of the pandemic. Also complicating the picture, drugs like Adderall are stimulants, controlled substances the government says have a high potential for abuse. So the Drug Enforcement Administration sets limits on how much can be produced.
Now is not the time to have an ADHD shortage, man. Teachers need it, kids need it, parents need it. Nobody paying attention right now because it's an ADHD shortage.
My cousin worked for the FDA.
Really?
She in the hall. I could ask her what they could do about it if you want.
Well, no, let's keep that amongst each other. We don't need to get that to the public. We keep that in-house.
All right.
Yeah, Adderall, I don't know if you guys know, but that's a drug that also helps with alcohol, people who are alcoholics. So it's a drug across the board that's not just ADHD, and so they contribute to that shortage as well. It's so interesting. I had a conversation with somebody over the weekend about, they said they started taking Adderall and it does make a big difference. And so this shortage, really, this is a really good report, by the way. It's a longer report of those who want to look it up, but it was talking about, this particular college kid that couldn't focus on packing, couldn't focus on grades, couldn't focus on anything. And she really needed that ADHD and it made a difference in her school. So what do you guys think about people being, my girlfriend was telling me, she said, I feel like they were pushing this and everybody needed to be on medication. We know Dr. Umar talks a lot about this as well, saying that they're pushing folks on ADHD. One of the things they said is a lot of people are getting this prescription. Do you think people are being over medicated or what?
I do.
Yes,
I do.
definitely.
And I tell anybody with kids when they're going to the doctors and the doctor says that their child has ADHD to go to a bunch of different doctors. Some doctors are very quick on medicine. That's their everything. Hey, there's a problem, medicine. There's a problem, medicine. I prefer with anything, even myself, I don't like to take Tylenol. Like I like to do, alternate things, whether it's I need to meditate. I even tried hugging a tree the other day. I don't know what. Charlamagne told me, go hug a tree.
Yes, I hug trees.
But
That's beautiful.
right.
They told me I had shoes on. I had to take my shoes off.
Take your shoes off and ground.
Yeah, well, I didn't. So maybe I got to
It's
try
okay.
differently.
You can try again.
I got to try again. But, I don't like certain things that are man-made to help us. If I can do other alternate things, I try that first, And I think we should try that with our kids as well.
Same.
Yeah. And there's a lot of studies about that, though, just by the way, for those who want to look into it, about Black children and Black boys in particular being diagnosed with ADHD more than others. So, look into that as well.
Is that an excuse to work from home? I don't have my ADHD medication, so I don't think I can come in today, sir or ma'am.
All right. Well, that is front page news.
Hey, and make sure you subscribe to Tesla and Figaro's podcast, the Straight Shot No Chaser podcast on the Black Effect iHeartRadio podcast network, and follow at Tesla and Figaro on all social media platforms at Tesla and Figaro.
All right. Well, let's open up the phone lines. 800-585-1051. Over the weekend, it was trending. It was everywhere. This young lady was hit in the face with a brick. Now, I guess a gentleman was, they call it catcalling, trying to holler at her. She said no, turned him down, and the guy responded with a brick to her face. Her face was swollen. It was all over the place. Very disgusting, very horrible. Not what I'm talking about. What happened was very disgusting. So we're asking 800-585-1051.
What's the proper procedure, you know what I'm saying, when a woman does not want to give a man her phone number? How do women get out of that situation nowadays? Lil D is here. She can talk to it. We want to hear from the women this morning.
Yep.
How do women get out of that situation safely?
All right, and we'll talk about it when we come back. 800-585-1051. Let's discuss. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.